And I am going to be recording this, okay? So you might see something pop up on your screen showing that we're recording. And we'll jump on in. Okay. Well, good morning or early afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another great Wellness Wednesday. We are going to be discussing actions to take after actually having a fall. Okay, so it's going to be with me. I'm the main presenter. My name is Sean. I am a health educator here for Healthy Aging Association. I am also, if this will work, the Dignity at Home Fall Prevention Program Coordinator. We will talk a little bit about that towards the end too. We do have a little bit to tell you at the end about some other programs we do have. It's a great program. And we have our guest speaker, Dr. Bob, today. So he's going to be speaking on a few topics as well as we go through our slides. So just a few things I wanted to share with you all. The meeting is recorded, and it will be posted on both our YouTube channel, our website, and it will be posted on our Facebook page. So if you do feel uncomfortable at all about being on the recording or anything like that, just turn your video off and you can you won't have to worry about being on the video at all. Okay. Great. And our previous recordings can be viewed on YouTube. I've had success just searching Wellness Wednesday and typing in the month. Like for example, today is Wellness Wednesday for March. If you type that in, it pops up pretty quick and it's pretty easy to find. That way you can watch some of our previous videos and anything that you may have missed. Really quick, so we are Healthy Aging Association. We are a nonprofit organization. Our mission is mainly to help older Americans live longer, healthier, more independent lives by promoting increased physical activity and sound health and nutrition practices, okay? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here and jump in a little bit. So some startling statistics that pop up are that about 36 million falls are reported yearly among older adults. That leads more to 32,000 deaths per year. So 1 out of 5 falls causes an injury, and every year at least 300,000 American adults are hospitalized for hip fractures, and more than 95% of those hip fractures are due to a fall. Okay, so women also tend to be more frequently fall than men. That counts for about 3/4 of all hip fractures. Okay, so a little bit, what does anybody think can cause a fall? I know some of you are muted. I can try to unmute, or you'd have to unmute. But yeah, what does anybody think about what can cause a fall?
A dog toy.
A dog toy, or the dog itself, right?
No, the toy.
That's a toy, okay. Yeah, so pets is a big one. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? So there's a few things that popped up, right? So medications can be a big one, right? Medications can make you dizzy. They can kind of throw you off a little bit. Having clutter around your house, that's a big one for me. It's a big preventative one, but it is easy for clutter to build up. Throw rugs are a big one as well. Whenever I go in to do some home assessments, I see throw rugs pretty much at every house that are unnecessary and that can really cause some sort of a fall or a trip. Poor lighting is one as well, because you can't see where you're walking, right? Then you're gonna most likely have an accident. And inactivity is a big one too. That's one I had talked about last month. Inactivity is a big one because it's gonna make you weaker, fatigue easier, and make you more prone to having those falls, right? Great. Just checking to make sure nobody else is trying to come in. Perfect. Okay, so what should one do after they have a fall? So having a fall is a really scary thing. Um, you know, nobody wants to fall, and it's just really important to make sure you're staying calm and to first assess yourself in the situation. Okay. Um, what are some things that pop up in your mind when you think about what you should do after you have a fall?
Mm.
What do you think is like one of the first few things you should think about doing, or like assessing and checking out before you try to do anything?
Make sure that you're staying calm and laying still and
Mm-hmm.
checking to see if you're having any areas of a lot of pain.
Yes. Great answer, Beth. That was perfect. That's a good answer. Does anybody else have any ideas too? There's multiple things.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Pain, maybe.
So pain, right? That's one of them. Yeah. So I kind of made this for things that you should try to assess and look for after you have a fall, right? So obviously you want to check for any bleeding or injuries that may have happened. Okay. If you're bleeding and you try to get up, you could slip on that, and that can cause another fall or a worse fall. If you're feeling faint, dizzy, anything like that, you may have hit your head and not even noticed it. Headache or head pain in general. Um, Also, any injury to your back or your spine, you feel like you might have tweaked something in your back.
Mhm.
Pretty much just any pain anywhere on your body is something I think is a very important thing to look for. Um, and then you kind of want to assess and see if you're not feeling any pain, does it hurt when you're trying to get up? Does it, or are you feeling any pain, a little bit of pain, and you want to try and get up? And then are you able to do so without having pain? Because if you're feeling pain, one of the big things is we want to make sure that we kind of really assess and don't make any of those injuries any worse, right? Good. So just making sure you take your time, assess yourself, kind of let yourself calm down so you can start feeling those areas of pain as your like adrenaline calms down and stuff like that. And it's always important to try to keep something like a cell phone or an alert system close by at like all times if you can. So I assessed a house a couple of weeks ago, and I had a client where she actually had the like rope that went on your neck for your cell phone, and she said this always stays with me. It's like her life alert, and I thought that was a really cool tool to have because then you always have your phone there or something in case you need to call for help. Um, the worst thing would be to be stuck somewhere and not be able to get help. I know a couple of my associates here at Healthy Aging Association had spoken about a matter of balance class, which I will explain to you a little later. That a client actually had fallen, or their neighbor had fallen and got stuck between their bed and their wall for about 3 days.
Mm. Oh.
And they had a plan with some neighbors, which is a good point. I wanted to point out that it didn't add into the slides, but it's a very good idea to know your neighbors and let them know what's going on, to reach out to you every couple of days. If they don't have contact with you, then they know to come over and check on you. That's what this person did, and it worked because they hadn't heard from that neighbor in a few days. They went and checked on him and looked through the window and saw that this person was stuck. So that's potentially saved that person's life because they called first responders and they came in and they got him out of there. So it's a very real thing. It's a very scary thing. So making sure you have a good plan. I did mean to add those into the slides today, but I wasn't able to, so I apologize. But trying to have like a nice plan with your neighbors or one of your kids or grandkids. Just, hey, if I don't call you by every couple of days, then you need to come check on me or have a neighbor come check on me or something like that. It's always good to have a plan. I'm a big plan person. I like plans. So good. And I just have a little picture of a cell phone that comes up. Okay, so this now is explaining how to get up after a fall. This is brought to you by our
Could you
Matter
please
of Balance.
speak up?
Sure thing. So the next slide is
Put the microphone closer to your mouth, please. Thank you.
sure. I can't really get it much closer, but I will try to speak up for you, okay? So how to safely get up after a fall. This is brought to you by a Matter of Balance handbook. Okay, this is a class that we do offer. I will explain a little bit more towards the end on that. So these pictures are a little backwards, so bear with me because it does show how to get onto the floor and then how to get up from the floor. So my main area of focus for this with you is getting up from the floor. So we would start at number 7. If you see that picture, first you would probably be laying on the floor. You would want to get into this position safely without pain, of being able to roll onto your bottom and then being able to gently start to get your legs bent and to work your way towards your knees. You want to try and find something sturdy, like a chair. A chair is the perfect thing, okay? Once you're able to get to a chair, then you'll want to nice and easily work your way up one hand at a time, putting your weight onto the base of that chair. You have to really make sure that you have good sturdy chairs, nothing with wheels or anything like that. And then you want to ease your way up just like this gentleman's doing from 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then if you want to, when you get to 1, you can just try to get up to where you can sit down on that chair. And then, you know, from 2 to 1, you can kind of get yourself up and kind of turn to be able to sit on that chair. Then you can really assess yourself some more, see if, oh, I am having pain here or there. And then you can call for help as needed. But you really want to just take your time doing this too, okay? Because you might be fatigued and really tired. So if you try this and you're stuck on number 4 and 3 or 3 and 2, just don't do anything that's going to put you into a bad position to fall. So if you're feeling too worried to do that, just call for help. You can just calmly lie back down and call for help. All right. Good. And then this is like a nice little technique that I've learned from doing a little bit of work in physical therapy for a few years too, is we call this the log roll technique where I worked at, but this is just an easier way for you to get out of bed. So this is great if you just have back pain too. It's a really great way to get out of bed. So you want to lie on your back and then you want to kind of turn and bend your knees to where you're on your side. And then you can roll those legs, those feet should just come right off the bed, just like in that picture right there.
Mhm.
So you want to use your arms to kind of push yourself up and then let your legs kind of go at the same time, and you can sit up. It's really good for your back. It's a very good technique to use. And make sure when you are sitting on the edge of the bed that you do wait for a few minutes before you stand up. The oxygen in your blood's kind of getting equalized right from a laying position to a sitting position. If you stand up too quick, you could get a little dizzy and then you could fall, okay? So just make sure with everything, you just take your time. Okay, and then with that, I am going to introduce, we'll talk a little bit more about the Matter of Balance towards the end of class, but first we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker for today, Mr. Dr. Bob McGrew. How are you doing, Dr. Bob?
Real good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And we're going to talk about what happens after the fall, after you get up. And the real concern is why you fell and how to prevent another fall, because you have a much higher chance of having a second fall if you have a first one. You know, something's wrong, either in your home, as Sean said, maybe, you know, just a lot of stuff on the floor, maybe the dogs get underfoot, or maybe outside. For me, I fell a couple of years ago when I got out of, we have a pool in the backyard, and I got out of the pool and just didn't pay attention, didn't put my sandals on, and got onto a slick part of the patio. There was a little wet from a dog or something. I don't know why it was wet. and I just went right down. Fortunately, fortunately, no injury, but it just reminded me that, hey, I don't have quite the balance I used to have. That applies to any of us listening who are over 65, right? As I am. So let's go to the next slide, Sean, and we'll talk about why you fell. Sean already alluded to some reasons, but one reason is having to do with diseases. And we all could have some of these apply. You see me wearing my glasses. So at night, when I'm walking to the restroom, which most of us do in the middle of the night, I don't have my glasses on. So, I don't see as well. So I might miss something on the floor. So it's important there be nothing on the floor, including throw rugs. You would not believe how many patients I've had who slipped on throw rugs. It's very common. Either slip on them or you stumble over them because you're not lifting your legs as much. Maybe in the middle of the night, you're kind of shuffling, to the bathroom or kitchen. So again, Parkinson's disease makes our legs shuffle. We don't raise them as much. That's a big issue. Strokes can do the same thing, interfere with our balance in our brain, or interfere with the movements of our legs. Big deal. Joint replacements, particularly knee replacements. You tend to lose the what's called proprioception, the ability to feel where your legs are in space. And so that makes you a little more wobbly. So you have to be more careful. We were in a lot of us have been in the hospital. We get out, we're a little weak, much more likely to fall because of deconditioning. And dementia, again, any loss of mental sharpness, let's just put it that way, even on the way to dementia, loss of mental sharpness is common. Again, we just may fall more. And poor vision, which we alluded to. So going to the, what can we do about this? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Next slide. So again, why did you fall? Medications, and starting with over-the-counter medicines. A lot of us take sleep aids at night. Melatonin is probably okay, can make you a little drowsy, but some of the other over-the-counter sleep aids have Benadryl, what's called diphenhydramine. They may have chlorpheniramine, or they have other old-fashioned antihistamines. These are not controlled drugs. They're available without a prescription. They kind of make you sleepy. But when you get up in the middle of the night, you get up the next morning, you're not as alert. And so you can fall more easily. So we kind of discourage those kind of medications other than melatonin for sleep. Again, things prescribed by the doctor can include narcotics, which definitely are sedating, sleep medicines. You see Ambien and Restoril mentioned. Antidepressant medications, some help you sleep better, you take at night. Trazodone and Elavil, or amitriptyline, another name, are examples of those. And cough medicines, both over the counter like Robitussin, particularly Robitussin DM, which is available without a prescription. The DM cough medicines can make you sleepy. And again, falls in the middle of the night or the next morning are much more common, so we have to be careful. Next slide. Sean already mentioned throw rugs, pets toys was great. Anything else on the floor? Low light, at night we tend to have low light on. We're going to the bathroom. So something we normally see, like maybe the chair kind of in the corner that's right by the entry to the bathroom, perhaps we may not see that. It got pulled out a few inches. We trip on it and boom. So we recommend being able to turn on lights if you're going to the bathroom, just for that reason, to have good illumination anywhere in your house. Even if you're like, turn off the TV in your living room, you're walking to the back of the house, no lights are on. Oh, no problem. I know the way. Turn on the light and see that throw rug or see that animal toy that's left in the hall, right? So, and then stairs are a big issue, particularly slippery stairs and stairs without railings. So one of the things Sean may mention, I'm not sure if it's in our program, Sean, you can address that, the Dignity at Home program for stairs, but we do for railings on stairs, but we strongly recommend those. I actually recommend people avoid 2-story houses if at all possible, if you're past 60, because of all the again, bad
Mhm.
injuries we've seen from people falling downstairs. And then ladders and step stools. I've almost fallen off a ladder before. I know several people my age who have fallen, including one fellow who broke his back and is back to walking barely, but has never been the same since that injury when he fell off a tall ladder. So again,
Yeah.
to be careful about things you've always done because, you know, again, our balance is not so great. Go ahead, next slide.
Yeah, great. And I just wanted to say really quick too, Dr. Bob, that the nighttime journeys with the low light, I said this in classes before. I might throw a little blame on my wife, but she, for some reason, turns off all the lights when she goes to bed. But then when I have to go to bed, I'm like always hitting my toes on something because of the lights being off.
Oh,
So
okay.
even me, you know, it's just if it's dark, it's just always best to have night lights or it's have something that's going to help light that way. I'm a big
And
stickler
actually
for that.
fairly bright night lights because
Yeah.
many of us don't see well, even
Yeah.
with a little nightlight on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There's great ones out there. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so again, and part of determining why you fell, and again, almost all of us have fallen, is to see our family doctor first, describe your fall, and you know, have him check for balance issues. We can check for any problems. Some problems that we didn't mention include heart problems. Do you have a heart arrhythmia where your heart beats too slowly or too fast? These kind of things. Again, balance issues because our inner ears are not working so well. Optometrist, always great to get your vision checked every year, get that corrected. Orthopedist about if you know have knee pain, if your joint locks. Some of us have locking knees, and that'll just put you down to the ground every time. So we really want to get that taken care of. Sean mentioned, I think, physical therapy. Sometimes after strokes, I think it's really mandatory to have physical therapy to help you with balance. And then come to one of Healthy Aging Association's programs, The Matter of Balance, for further training, I think is really, really, really helpful. Okay, next slide. So in general, how do we prevent a fall, either before or after we've had our first fall, or even our second or third fall? Well, exercise is really helpful. So we would put 30 minutes of walking is kind of the basic foundational exercise. Most people call that aerobic. And briskly means as fast as you can comfortably go and safely go. It doesn't mean as fast as your daughter walks or your granddaughter walks, right? It's as fast as you can comfortably go, something that pushes you a little bit. And then we'll talk about the Matter of Balance classes. Sean was going to cover that, young at heart strength training. And Tai Chi, interestingly, has been proven to help balance. And I can remember visiting Beijing. It used to be called Peking, the capital of China, and walking through a park near the Forbidden City, which is the big tourist attraction there, and seeing all of these older Chinese people out doing Tai Chi in big groups. And they had these beautiful poses. They all move very slowly. And I thought, boy, that's kind of a lazy way to exercise. But it turns out the Tai Chi is so good for exactly what you need for balance, for attuning our balance center, making us balance on one leg or making us in a little awkward position. And it builds up also static muscle strength. So we have two kinds of muscle strength, static and dynamic. Static is what really develops the core strength of your body, and that helps us not to fall. So again, Tai Chi, excellent, as is the other two classes. Next, Sean.
Great. I'm great to hear that, the Tai Chi. I have a little surprise for you then, Dr. Bob, in a little bit with the Tai Chi. So
yeah, very common. Again, in Hong Kong, we've also visited Hong Kong and in Beijing, and everybody does it, but particularly people in their 60s and older are out there. You see 80, 90-year-olds out there doing Tai Chi.
I know.
Looking great, by the way, looking really fit.
Yeah.
Okay, so assistive devices. Again, prevention is better than cure. So we've had another talk previously more about this, but just to point out that good shoes are good, Now, the reachers and grabbers I'm talking about, we probably all know what they are. You have a handle on and you
Yeah.
can reach down to the ground and grab something on the ground. I use it for picking up my dog poop in the backyard. I have a big dog and I don't have to bend down to it. And honestly, that's a great, I love it. Canes and walkers, of course, if we need them, I find people are too reluctant to use them. So we really would like to, tell people to use them early, not after you've fallen 5 times and broken your leg, really important to use those early. Also wheelchairs and scooters. Some people just really, that's the best choice for them, at least for part of the time, maybe when they're out of the house. Stairway chair lifts are an option. They're expensive, but if you're in a 2-story house, money well spent. And then I want to plug the Society for Disabilities. They're downtown, and they will either rent or loan people or sell you an inexpensive cane or walker, even a scooter. They get these given by families of people who passed on. And that's an excellent resource for people who need an inexpensive option to get. So
Yeah, I love that.
and
That's
then-
great.
yeah. And then Sean's going to talk about grab bars in the bathroom. Bathroom is a big place to fall. You're going to mention how we can help people with those. And but just to put in a plug for stair railings. Stair railings, if you're going to use a stair and you don't need a chairway lift, you've got to get stair railings for your home stairs, because those will really, even for just a couple steps down the front steps or in the back steps or into the garage, a railing can save you from a fall. Okay, next one.
Yeah, great.
And improving your sleep. Now here we're into kind of preventive. It turns out sleep is really helpful for your brain in terms of preventing dementia. We recommend at least 7 hours of restful sleep where you're not using a sleep aid other than maybe melatonin. So not using over-the-counter or prescription Ambien, over-the-counter sleeping pill, because they actually just hypnotize you or anesthetize you. They don't let you have restful sleep. Without restful sleep, natural sleep, we don't, our brain doesn't get the functions it needs to clean out the brain, get ready for the next day. And there's more sleep interruptions as we get older. So we have to kind of allow for that. Often I find I need 9 hours in bed to get 8 hours of sleep between getting up to the bathroom or just natural awakening, which happens as you're older. It's been shown that even though you wake up several times, you still need the same amount of sleep, 7, 8 hours, up to 9 hours of restful sleep a day. And again, memory is not just, benefits are not just less falling because you're more attentive, you can concentrate better, but actually your energy is better if you sleep better, and your emotional balance is better. You deal with both positive and negative things better. You can be more present because you're not tired. Does that make sense? So
Totally
a
makes
lot of
sense, yeah.
benefits. Okay, so next, Sean.
Great information. Yeah.
And how to improve sleep. I would say I've got 12 items on how to improve sleep. And basically just pick one of these things to do. Don't memorize the whole thing. But it turns out that for people who really say, I can't sleep, my mind turns on when I go to bed, it doesn't turn off. It turns out that's a very bad habit. And yeah, getting sleeping pills can help somewhat. But again, when you're older, you tend to wake up a lot during the night. And if you're on a sleeping pill and you wake up 3 hours after you go to sleep to go to the bathroom, you don't have the light on, you left a shoe in the middle of the path to the bathroom, boom, you fall, you break your arm. So again, we really recommend kind of trying other methods besides sleeping pills, over the counter or prescription. So the behavioral therapy actually can really help with sleep. They help to get you back in a better frame of mind, help you to deal with negative thoughts or anxious thoughts. Caffeine is an obvious one, but it turns out we need to stop that by noon. I realize that a lot of people say it doesn't bother me, but studies show it probably does bother you in terms of waking up at night or not having as restful sleep. Alcohol, very much the same way. You know, if you're having 2 ounces of wine with dinner, 3 ounces max, and you're taking that fairly early, several hours before you go to bed, it might not affect your sleep too much, but for most of us, it's better to really reduce or minimize alcohol intake within 5 hours of bedtime. And the next thing are remove the screens from the bedroom. It's been shown, again, TVs or phones or tablets that are left on. I actually take mine I take my phone into the bedroom for a wake up function, you know, for the alarm on it. But I turn off, I put it in nighttime mode. And if somebody calls me, I won't get it. After 30 years on call as a family doctor, I can't sleep if I have an active phone in the same room.
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
We got called so much
I'm
for,
sure. Yeah, talk about
bedtime
your
and wake up. Regular bedtime and wake up times been shown, again, to really facilitate good sleeping. Avoid sleeping on the couch in the evening. You can wake up, go back to bed, but for many people, it's hard to get a good night's sleep if they do that. I'm sure there are some exceptions. And if you lie awake over 20 minutes, most recommendations are to actually put your robe on and get up and go sit and read something boring or relaxing. The comics are good. Something relaxing is good. Something positive, positive story or book. For some people, the Bible is really relaxing, reassuring.
Yeah.
Okay, so next.
Great.
And then just go back to bed when you're sleepy again. I personally have done that. Avoid daytime naps if you have problems sleeping at night. Now, if you take a nap and you still sleep well at night, great. A lot of older people do that. That's fine. But if you're really not sleeping at night, you got to cut out the daytime naps. And then a really key thing is you got to relax before you go to sleep. So if you're watching the 11 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, 9 o'clock news, whatever the late night news is, if you're watching the news, I guarantee you, you're not relaxed when you go to sleep, because news is made to inflame our passions and get us riled up, because that means you're going to watch it tomorrow night. You're going to watch it the next night. So you've got to be smarter than that, you know, I think, and not watch that late night news. And just not having a TV in your bedroom is really recommended. And then again, visible clock faces. I have a clock, but it points away from the bed. I have to kind of get up and look at it. I can't look at it if I just wake up and open my eyes. We recommend that. So you're not clock watching. Again, relaxing music is good. But one thing you may not realize is that in order to go to sleep, we need to lose 1.5 degrees of body temperature. Our bodies need to cool down. Interestingly, a hot shower at night dilates all the blood vessels in your skin and helps your body to cool down. It's counterintuitive, but it appears to be true. That really works for me. I like showers at night. But having your room cool is important. So on hot Modesto nights, at least having a room air conditioner and getting that room down under 80 degrees, preferably, 78 or whatever works for you. Probably an optimal temperature for most people for a room when you sleep is something like 68.
Yeah.
Which can seem pretty cool in the summer. You don't have to have it that low, but whatever works for you. But point is, a lot of people don't realize that if it's hot in your bedroom, you're probably going to have trouble going to sleep or getting back to sleep. Okay. And then the last thing was just, again, if you're not sleeping, have your medications checked. There's a number of meds that can keep you awake, or also can keep you asleep during the day, can make you drowsy in the morning. Either one is bad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, I think that's the last slide, isn't it?
That's the last one for you. Okay, it is. So just some points that you're talking about too. I know that me and my wife will use an app. Your phones have so many apps now to help you for sleeping too. So we use like the soundscapes and stuff. and you could hear like
Mhm.
crickets and a campfire. That always helps me go to sleep. Those work the best. So, and definitely reading before bed, I know helps me. And I feel more rested and alert, and I can move better the next day for sure. So those are all really good points.
Right, as long as it isn't the world news.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
again, reading something that's usually calming and relaxing, that's the key thing.
I
Yeah.
try to read
Okay.
something that's a couple levels above me, so it's difficult to read, and I'm learning, and then it's also making me a little bit more tired, so
Bingo. I was going to say
yeah.
medical journals work really well for putting people to
Yeah.
sleep.
No, yeah. My wife reads a book and she gets amped up. She'll read the whole book and not go to bed.
Right.
So I just handed her my anatomy book one night and told her to read that. And she did it one time and fell asleep in about 15 minutes, so that worked. But
There you go. Yeah.
yeah. So moving on, so preventing falls. I know we've talked a few about this too. Exercising regularly, that's going to help you sleep as well too, right? So trying to get that exercise, get a routine going. A bunch of these points Dr. Bob had touched on: getting your vision and hearing checked your home for hazards. Use those assistive devices. That's such a big thing, because I've had patients when I worked as an aid in physical therapy where they were just not wanting to use their walkers, and then they would fall in the clinic because they didn't want to use it just to go to the exercise bike or anything. And sometimes just going to the littlest movement is going to lead to a fall. Watch out for those pets. Watch your surroundings. Medication management again. And don't forget, invest in yourself and try to join a fall prevention program like the ones that we have here. One of the biggest things that I'd like to say though too is to keep moving. I know Dr. Bob was saying this as well. So just keeping that coordination, the flexibility, and your balance is such a key thing when you're aging. We lose that from inactivity, which is going to increase your chances of falling as well too. So research really does show that 30 minutes a day of active activity, it's going to decrease that risk for falling as well. So I think I have some more of the classes. So these are some of the classes that we do offer here. I know a few of you in here just came from the Young at Heart strength training with Zoom with Sam. I was co-hosting that one, so I was watching all of you. You guys are doing great. I love leading that class. It's great. We have that one on Zoom Mondays and Wednesdays. We do have a lot of new locations opening up in Modesto and the surrounding areas for in-person. So don't hesitate to give us a call to see about the availability. Some of them are filling up. So there's wait lists for a few of these things on this list as well. Tai Chi, like Dr. Bob was saying too, Tai Chi for arthritis is a great program that we have. That one is in Modesto as well. I do have a slide on that one coming up, but we actually have a new class starting, Dr. Bob, that I'm leading. I did about 16 hours of training with another one of our associates who used to teach a Tai Chi class before. His name is Steven. This is a Tai Chi Quan. It's for it's strictly for fall prevention. So they're taking techniques from the Tai Chi and utilizing it to brace yourself for falls and to work on your balance and movements. And it's a really great program. I'm really excited to start that. I have a slide on that coming up. Matter of balance, we can't say that one enough. It's a great class. I'll explain a little bit. We have our steps program that's going on right now. We just hit 4 weeks out of 12. And then my Dignity at Home fall prevention program. So we'll just go over each one of these just really quickly. So we have that Young at Heart strength training class. We use rubber resistance tubing. There's 4 different levels. Usually we do 2 to 3 times a week. Mostly it's 2 times a week. We don't want to overexert you or anything. But it really helps with your strength, balance, and flexibility to reduce falling. You could do it on the Zoom class, like I said, or you can call us on the bottom of your screen, that phone number right here, the 209-525-4670, and we will see what classes are closest to you and which will work best for you, and if we have availability in those classes for you. So don't hesitate to give that number a call. There's always somebody in the office, and we should be able to, if we miss your call, we'll call you right back. We're really on top of it. We're trying to make sure we get as many people in those classes as possible. So for the Tai Chi, this is for arthritis, right? So this one's Tuesday, Thursday mornings, 9 to 10 a.m. at St. Paul's. I can never say it right, but Episcopal Church. You need to be vaccinated to join this one. But all you have to do is show up 15 minutes early to sign up and show your proof of vaccination, and you can start. Very fun class. I've been to it. It's a great environment, great group. Takes a couple of times to get kind of the flow right with them and stuff, but it's amazing how their balance is. Everybody in this class, they have such great balance. That's what I love. So you really see the benefits from these classes. And then this is our Tai Chi Quan for moving for better balance, which I just did the training to be an instructor for. So this is really taking those techniques from Tai Chi and using them for the balance and coordination and strength to prevent falls. There's a lot of bracing movements, like I was saying. That's going to be held at our the Stanislaus Veteran Center, Senior Veteran Center off of Coffee Road, where I'm located in Modesto. Okay, for this one, please give us a call. It starts on the 26th. Okay, so just give us a call at that number again on the bottom, and you can be added to the list, and we'll get you going. It's going to be a fun class. We're all going to be learning this one together. So it's really great to start. If you want to start looking into Tai Chi, this is a really good one to start. It's not too difficult to do. And it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. You're not able to join after the second week because we really do the basics in the first 2 weeks. So try to get your name on that list before it fills up too much. It should be about 20 people to 25 people, I think. So it's going to be a really fun class. I just want to get through a few more of these for you. We have our Young at Heart Steps program. Registration is still open. You can join at any time. 12-week program. Every 4 weeks, you do submit or call us, or you can email us your miles or your steps that you've done for that month. And then at the end, we tally all of them up. We tend to try to have a brunch at the end. I'm not sure if we are this year because of COVID, but we tend to have a brunch at the end, and you get awards for who had the most steps and the most miles, and they do raffle prizes. I think this Monday is a raffle prize for everybody participating. Again, great program. You just walk at your own pace on your own or with a friend or a child, a grandchild. Get that brisk walk in, and you can just, it'll be really beneficial for you. And it's fun. You kind of get to compete against other people in the community. It's fun. And then the awesome Matter of Balance class. This class fills up really quick because it's only 8 to 12 people. So this class does usually have a wait list. I did just get trained in this one as well. So I am now a trainer for this one, or an instructor. So the classes do fill up quick because they're 8 to 12, but we are opening up more classes, okay? So there's 9 2-hour classes. It's mostly discussion. There is exercise, a tiny bit of exercise that you get introduced into, and then you do in the beginning of every class. It's nothing too extensive to be afraid of doing. It's a great class to do. It's evidence-based. It's proven to work. It's such a great program. It's all over the country. It's a really great one to join. Again, call us and we will go ahead and put you on that wait list, and we will call you as soon as the spot opens up for you. Okay. And then the Dignity at Home Fall Prevention Program, which is my program that I coordinate. We did just finish up with March, and that is kind of the end of my program for right now. It's not stopping though. We did get funding. So please reach out if you are interested in this at all, or if you have any friends that are interested in this at all. What it is if you qualify, which will be on the next screen, there is a income requirement that might not exist in a little bit. From what I've been told, that's a possibility. What we try to do is, if you qualify, I would come by with my associate. We would do an in-home inspection, and we would look for things like those throw rugs to see if you have adequate lighting, if there's any clutter that could be in your way. But we're mainly looking in areas like your bathroom, your bedroom, kitchen, And like the steps leading up to the house or any kind of steps into the garage is what I look for a lot too. I want you to be able to move around your home and feel confident and stay independent as long as you possibly can. So I can get you grab bars, handrails for those steps, like Dr. Bob was saying. They are a big thing. I've gone to homes where they don't have any handrails, like you were saying, and that's just a hazard right there. And I've gotten at least one handrail put in for them to help them out with that. Grab bars are a big thing that I shoot for. I can get shower chairs as well, bath mats that are the industrial, really good bath mats. It's a really great program. It all comes at no cost. It's all free. If you meet the requirements, it's free. And we've been doing really well, having great success. We're getting more funding for it. And it's just a great program that I'm so happy to do. And the number is right here on the bottom. It's a little bit more bold. This will take you to our area agency on aging. They will start the process with you if you just mention Dignity at Home Fall Prevention. Again, great program. If you have any questions, call this number or you can call us here and I'll direct you into the right place to go. Okay, and we'll get you started, or a friend or a neighbor. All right. So in summary, right? So we want to have a bit of a summary at the end really quick. So a few things to remember after having that fall, if you do have a fall, is to assess yourself, get up safely, try to keep phones or that alert system with you at all times. If you're feeling any pain, call for help. You don't want to make an injury worse. And then make sure to use something that is very sturdy to help yourself up. And then again, the programs we offer, the Young at Heart Strength Training, we have that Tai Chi, Matter of Balance, the STEPS program's great. I love that program. And my Dignity at Home Fall Prevention program. Our phone number is here on the bottom one last time for you with our email. And we have a next month. We're going to have Wellness Wednesday again. This next one is going to be the topic of shower safety. It's going to be on April 27th at 11 a.m. We are going to be on Zoom, as always, right? Comfort of your home. You know, you can have your pets with you and all that fun stuff. And we're going to discuss how to ensure your shower safety and just being safe while you're showering and not having to worry about falling. Okay, and then I had this up from last time, so I haven't talked with Dr. Bob if he's going to come in for that one. We kind of do every other month, but that one slipped in there. So sorry, Dr. Bob. He could come, we don't know. I'll reach out with them and see. So, and that's pretty much everything we have. I want to leave like the discussion open for any questions anybody has for me or Dr. Bob or anything you want to contribute to the talk.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Beth.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very well, thank you. Does this link that I used today, will that link also work for the next one on the 27th of April?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's the same link as you used for the Young at Heart because I've seen you in there because I know you've just started doing the strength training classes. So
let me tell you, it's really wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. It works so well.
It's a great class, and you can go at your own pace. And unfortunately, I have to sit down, but that's okay. I'm still feeling the results, and it's a very good class. Highly recommended to anybody